In golf, every shot demands something different. For Maddox Burton, success comes from staying composed, trusting the process, and continuing to grow as a competitor, a mindset shaped through the years of competing across multiple sports. Coming up, we sit down with Maddox to discuss the mental side of the game, his development, and what it takes to compete at a high level. This is Inside the GSC. Today on Inside the GSC, we're joined by Maddox Burton from Trevecca Nazarene University's men's golf team. Maddox's journey in golf has been built on passion, discipline, and a love for the game that has started young. And now he is one of the Trojan leaders setting the mark in the Gulf South Conference. Maddox, welcome to the show. We appreciate you being with us here on such a busy schedule. We know you got so much stuff going on between golf and final exams and stuff coming up. So we really appreciate you taking some time here to be with us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
For sure. And Maddox, as we go ahead and dive a little bit more deeper into your story, obviously your story with golf, it started early, even getting out on the course as a kid, and just you knew initially that it was a passion of yours, that as soon as you were on there, you didn't want to leave. So we'll start with this first question for you. What was it about golf at that young age that hooked you right away?
I think for me, it was just, I loved being outside. I was an active kid, played all different kinds of sports growing up. But golf, I just loved being outside. You're out in the elements. Nice days, you get to enjoy them. Rough days, you get to figure out like kind of how do you battle through this. And I think it's something I really enjoyed growing up, especially getting time to spend with my dad, to just go out there. We get 4 hours to ourselves and just have a good time, kind of no matter how it goes.
Maddox, as a Texas guy, you're introduced to sports at a young age, and obviously football is the main religious, I say main religious sport, but football is a religion in
Yeah.
Texas. So
Yeah.
so being with that, and then you got basketball and a few other sports, you're growing up, but just what was it about golf that just really drew you on through your high school years and just the commitment to what you're doing now and how you're playing it out?
Yeah. So I actually wasn't just a golf guy till my junior year in high school. All growing up, I was a basketball guy. I was through and through basketball and golf guy. I played both those my whole life. Ran a little track. Parents didn't let me play football. Tried to get that one in there, but they wouldn't let that one slide. So yeah, I mean, I was a basketball guy growing up, had some ankle problems my sophomore year, and just kind of sat down, had a heart to heart with my parents, and was like, what do I want to do? Like, I know I love golf, I love basketball, but I think I have a better chance at being successful at golf. And so that's when I think I started to fall in love with golf more, just like I did when I was a little kid, just kind of falling in love with the process. I started getting up early mornings, late nights, and just trying to grind and focus on golf specifically.
Do you think being a multi-sport athlete growing up helped you develop differently than specializing in golf specifically early on and just taking serious private lessons and just competing in tournaments and golf becoming 90% of your life compared to having that balanced childhood?
Yeah, definitely. In my swing specifically, or in my golf game, really, I would really just describe it as just kind of just go out there and be an athlete. I don't have the conventional golf swing or the conventional, this is how you do it structure. I just kind of go out there and get it done. And I think that growing up playing basketball really helped me because even though they're drastically different, basketball is just very reaction based and golf is very thought out and just kind of sit there and take your time. I think just having that team aspect and kind of just the reactionary athletic background just kind of helped me figure out how to handle my game specifically in golf. Just reacting to shots, reacting to your golf swing, just kind of timing it up, just I mean really all of it. I would say just basketball helped a lot. Just kind of helped me be an athlete on the golf side of things.
During your time as a golfer, You played in some good, decent tournaments. Talk about some of your tournament experiences playing at places like Torrey Pines, or like even seeing a hole like the 17th hole at the TPC Sawgrass at a young age. Talk about some of those moments for you, and just how those games and being in those matches, if you will, have helped you develop that IQ mentality as a golfer.
Yeah, it's definitely great, especially getting to play some courses that, you watch on TV. You see the best of the best go and kind of watch how they play the hole. And then you actually get there and see it for yourself. And it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of how you do it. But yeah, I mean, I was very blessed growing up to be able to go and play some very, very nice courses and high level courses and really just kind of see and experience those before coming to college, getting to play PGA level courses, getting to play TPC courses, just the best of the best courses that challenge your game the most is just, it's great to give your game that test every now and then before coming to college. Is just, I mean, it helps exponentially seeing how much your game can grow from just playing your average course down the street.
For sure. And through playing in those experiences like that, I would anticipate as well, you've gotten to meet a lot of people. When it comes to golf, there's just something special about it, Maddox, where it's not just a sport that people look at as kind of a way for business partners to get to know one another as an activity, but it's really a great social networking experience when you think about it, not just from a competitive standpoint, but from the people you meet as well. And with that, has there anybody you've connected with when you've played at Sawgrass, when you've played at Torrey Pines, that you still have connections today? Or even if it's, somebody that has mentored you growing up, or just talk a little bit more about the people that have influenced you early on within your golf game, as well as just in life in general.
Oh, that's a good one. I would say definitely getting to experience those courses. You meet so many great people. I would say a lot of my like connections through golf have just come from I would say the Dallas golf community in general. I would say the Dallas golf community runs a lot deeper than people think. I worked at a couple country clubs growing up that I met a ton of great people that I still kind of are in contact with. And through those connections, I got to play a great course in Dallas called Brook Hollow. Very exclusive course, just from meeting somebody at the club that I talked to every once in a while and became friends with. And so, I mean, golf is just, it's one of those sports, kind of like you said, where it's just it's not even about the golf sometimes. It's just about spending time with people and getting to know people, talking, getting to know their story. Um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of the people that I've met through golf are very like meaningful in my life. Like my club fitter back in Dallas, Stripe Show Club Fitters, Jake, I love him to death. He's a great guy. I mean, he's one of the guys that I up to in golf. I've met a lot of very, very successful people through Jake, just kind of being around him and being at his shop. So yeah, that's always fun whenever I'm with Jake.
What do you think is one common misconception when people think about golf, and just it's not just getting to meet other people too, but there's a certain etiquette about golf, right? Whether it's playing the game and you have to be extremely respectful of the rules, there's a certain decorum that everybody needs to abide by. And especially if people don't understand those rules and they just go about it, that they look at it as, I'm just acting normally. But what would be one of the more misconcepted guidelines, if you will, about golf that people may not truly understand about the game?
I think I actually have a couple of them, and they're two. I'll tell you the two that I hear the most often. One, that golfers aren't athletes, and the second one is that golf is only for the wealthy, and only the wealthy can play. For golfers can't be athletes, I just like to tell people I was a multi-sport athlete up until late high school. And I mean, all my buddies playing golf growing up, they all played basketball, they all played football. I mean, being in Texas, almost every golfer I know played more than golf. And especially with the game now, I mean, after Tiger, and I mean, you've got guys early on like Gary Player, golfers are becoming athletes. It's becoming about the long ball. It's about being fit and shape, how far you can hit it. And then for the second one, that golfers are only, or golf is only for the wealthy. I was never a country club kid growing up. I worked at a country club in high school, And that's how I kind of got my membership into the club. So I would work there during the weeks at nights after school, so that I could go and practice either before school or after school. And I got playing privileges through working there. So there's ways around it. Golf is a very expensive sport. That's 100% true. But I mean, from my own experiences, I know that there's ways around it, and there's ways to get into the game that don't just equate to expensive country clubs and expensive golf clubs and all that kind of stuff.
Now, Maddox, as we kind of shift back a little bit towards your origin days, and as we've talked a little bit more about some of the bigger premier tournaments that you've played in growing up, now we fast forward to the college age of things, and just as you're looking for a school to continue, not just going to school to get an education, but just trying to find the best team atmosphere that was good for you. Talk to us a little bit how you found Trevecca, a school in Nashville, Tennessee, where this Texas guy's coming through, and just tell us the story about how you fell in love with Nashville and just how you became a Trojan.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny. So I got into recruiting late. I didn't really come into the mindset that I want to be a college golfer till like the summer before my junior year of high school. So before that, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. Am I going to play basketball? Am I going to play golf? So after I started grinding, normally everyone's signed by like early junior year. And that's when I was just starting to try and find schools. So me and my parents sent out a ton of emails to a ton of coaches, got a lot of coaches coming back with, oh, I have full rosters, all that. I was actually coming back from a visit from a school in Kansas. And I get an email from Coach Head saying, hey, I want you to come to Nashville next weekend. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I don't know if I can do that. And so I talked to my parents. We ended up coming, and I just fell in love with it, man. I mean, being right on Nashville, like I can look out my dorm room right now and look at downtown Nashville. And I mean, the campus is just beautiful. Once I stepped on campus in my visit, in the car ride back with my parents, I was like, this is the school. This is where I want to go. Just the atmosphere, meeting coach. And then now that I've met the team, I mean, it's where I wanted to be. It's where I was meant to be.
Maddox, as you've officially signed on with Trevecca, tell us some of the biggest differences between junior golf and playing at the intercollegiate level.
Yeah, so they're very different because growing up, my high school was very small. I had 90 kids in my school in my graduating class. So I was basically the only person on the golf team. So coming into college, I never had any experience with team golf. So that was new for me when I came in my freshman year, just kind of figuring out, okay, how is this going to work? But yeah, I mean, now that I've been in it for a while, it is very different playing for yourself and playing for your team. Just kind of some situations where you might want to hit like a risky shot or go for this, like, I want to press, but your team's in a good spot. So, you just kind of you got to play smart golf. You can't make any big mistakes. It's just like little things like that every now and then. It's really just situational awareness, depending on where your team is and where you are individually, that just kind of determine whether you're in a position to press on and play for yourself, or if you need to be a team guy for that tournament and you're like, all right, I just need to my team needs me to par out here instead of trying to press in and make 4 birdies. So that's been the biggest adjustment for me, just having some of those situations with coach where he's like, I know you want a birdie here, but we really need a par for the team here. And it's just kind of those situations that I've never had before that I had to get used to.
What is coaching like in regards to just because at the end of the day, when it comes to golfing, I mean, like you just mentioned, it's more of a team aspect, and then there's the individual side of things. And ultimately, the goal to an average individual is shoot the ball, get it into the hole in as many little shots as possible.
Right.
So, from a player to coach standpoint, like when you think about what the coaching mentality is, just take us through a little bit of, from a player's perspective, how big coaching is when it comes to strategy at the collegiate level compared to if you're just playing by yourself.
Yeah. So I would say a lot of our coaching comes into play in our practice rounds before the tournament actually starts. On each hole, on each tee box, and on each green, the whole team will kind of take a second, take in the hole, look at what we've got, and we'll kind of determine like a team strategy on what we're going to do on that hole for the week. Now, that strategy sometimes changes based on different situations. Like if you're coming down the stretch and you've got a chance to win, you might be a little more aggressive. But it's really just having our coaches with that golf experience and that competitive golf experience, kind of knowing, all right, this is what we're going to do as a team this week. That's going to give us the best shot. And then in tournaments, I would say it's really, for me, the biggest help with coaching in tournaments is just the relaxation factor of it, of just kind of getting them to slow you down a little bit, slow your brain down, talk about basketball, talk about football, talk about really anything else. And then when it comes time to hit your shot, then we lock in and we figure out, all right, this is what we talked about in the practice round. Let's hit this shot based off of what guys in front of me have done. All right, maybe we need to adjust to this here. So it's really just kind of making little adjustments based off of seeing how the team's doing as a whole is really the biggest thing for me.
Which is a good segue to the next series of questions I have for you. When it comes to golf, I think a lot of people don't truly understand how critical it is to be mentally strong and know that you're not going to always necessarily get the ideal shots you want. And sometimes you'll have good days and bad days. But talk a little bit about just the mental grind when it comes to just having that discipline with golf, and just in your perspective, how important it is to make sure that mentally you're tough in any hole or any round that you're playing in.
Yeah. So mental is huge, especially at our level, because with the level we're at, your mental game is pretty much what separates just your average college golfer and your really good college golfer. So, I mean, on our 36 hole days, you're at the course for 10 to 12 hours, depending on how fast the rounds are. And anyone who's ever played golf and knows how frustrating it is knows 10 to 12 hours of golf is a lot of mental work. So really on those days, for me, it's really just trying to minimize using my brain. If I can use my brain as little as possible throughout that 10-hour day, I know I'm doing pretty good. Kind of giving myself easy pars, easy birdies, trying not to make myself grind too much and use my brain too much so that I can kind of preserve the battery a little bit to when my body gets exhausted later in the round and I'm going to actually need it. But yeah, I mean, that's when I kind of talked about earlier about when coach coming in and just asking you, hey, you watched the baseball game last night, just kind of getting your brain off of golf until you need to focus in for like the 6 seconds when you hit your shot. I mean, outside of that, it's really just how can I get my brain off of golf, because I know it's going to be a long day and I'm going to need it later.
For sure. Everybody looks at the collegiate realm as a time of development, not just from an athlete standpoint and just playing a sport, but also just trying to figure out things in life. And again, like I was mentioning earlier, getting a good education. But during your time at Trevecca so far, what are some lessons that you've learned, and what has Trevecca golf teach you as a person, and how to define who Maddox Burton is as a man?
Yeah, I think I've grown a lot since I've been at Trevecca, and I'm very thankful for it. I've grown in my faith since I've been here. Every Wednesday, we go to CGF, which is College Golf Fellowship, at Will Crane's house. And I mean, it's been great. It just having fun with the fellas on Wednesdays, going over, getting some Chipotle, and then just spreading our faith, talking about our faith has been great. And I think it's really helped me grow since I've been here and kind of grow in my faith, and kind of, especially with the guys on the team who are further with their faith, just kind of learning from them and kind of being around them has just been great for me. And I think being around coach, he sends out daily Bible readings every day. And I think just being in this environment has really just helped me grow since I've been here.
Speaking of environments, when Trevecca first began and when you joined the Trojans and you were playing golf, you guys were in the GMAC, you competed, but then chronologically speaking, we look at August of 2023, September 2023, Trevecca makes the announcement that they're switching conferences from the GMAC to the Gulf South. Did you have any initial reactions to the switch in the conference? And if you did or did not, kind of just take us through that perspective as a student athlete at Trevecca, what was going through your mind, or just some initial thoughts you had when the school decided to make this transition?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I can speak for the whole team when I say this, but our first reaction was warm weather. We can't wait to get down to some warm weather. After playing in Ohio in October, I mean, just getting to play in Florida, getting to play in Georgia, just going south, we were all ecstatic. But yeah, I mean, getting to play some good golf courses, going down to some southern golf, which is what I'm used to. That's what I grew up playing. Playing in the GMAC, I was playing my freshman year was definitely some adjusting. I was playing in some conditions that I had never played in before. I'd never been up north. So I was like, I don't know what golf's like up here. But yeah, definitely coming to the Gulf South, getting some competitive good golf on some great golf courses has just been great for our team. And I mean, I can see since my freshman year, just see the progression through our team of how I think the conference switch is helping our team become more competitive and just better golfers.
For sure. And as we talk a little bit more about just those differences, sometimes with some student athletes that I've talked to before, just from a golfing standpoint, they may say that the competition's different or not. Do you notice a difference when it comes to competitions? Because at least in the Division II realm, it seems like depending on which invitational you go to, it's not always just regional based, but sometimes you might be playing schools that are from a different region, some maybe even from the West Coast, or some that are more or less in the South Central region, some Texas schools. But in your experience, Maddox, when the team made the adjustment from the GMAC to the GSC, has there really been much of a difference in terms of the level of competitiveness?
So I would say there has been a little bit. I mean, I like to tell everyone there's sticks at every level of golf you could play. You go north, south, east, west. You could go D1, NAIA. There, you're going to find a good golfer pretty much anywhere you go. I think the main difference is really just kind of depth of how deep does that team go. And I think being in the Gulf South, playing against teams like West Florida and Lee, you get great competition. And it's really good for a growth aspect for us, just kind of getting to play with those teams, competing with those teams, and just kind of seeing where we fall.
Talk about a memorable moment since you've started playing as a Gulf South Conference student athlete as Trevecca made the move to the GSC.
I would say my favorite memory, I mean, over the last couple of years, it's kind of held strong. In the fall, every fall, we go to Orlando and we stayed just outside of Disney. And that's the one tournament we rent a house. And getting to stay in a house with the fellas it's great. The last house we had a projector up. We had a 4 split screen of all the football games on. And it's like, it's the best like bonding experience with the team that we've get to had. I mean, when we were in the GMAC, when we were going up to Ohio, we never really got that experience. It's always kind of colder up there. Getting down to go to Florida, competing at Ocean Gate International, a great golf course, and just kind of getting to experience the warm weather, getting to experience the sun with the fellas, and just those team bonding moments on those long road trips are just they've been great.
Sounds like a whole bunch of fun. So, Maddox, we'll pivot just a little bit from your time playing at golf, and we want to get to know a little bit more about a personality standpoint for you. You've had some great off-course experiences. It sounds like with some of the experiences you've had, you've got some good experience with music and cooking. So tell us a little bit more about some of the specifics you enjoy and just, what really stands out from hobbies and just stuff that you enjoy to do.
Yeah, you mentioned cooking. I mean, anybody that knows me knows I love to eat. Love to eat just about anything. And I mean, my roommate's always in here. He'll walk in, he'll be like, "Ooh, what are you making today?" So I mean, I'm always making all different kinds of stuff. I made sheet pan fajitas the other day. Those are great. But yeah, I mean, I grew up cooking with my grandma, just kind of bonding time with her, and that kind of got me in the kitchen. And I mean, I love it. I love I love eating, so obviously I'm gonna love making the food too. So yeah, I enjoy cooking a lot. I'm always making different things for the week, meal prepping for the week. But yeah, I'm a music guy. Grew up singing in the choir, pre-puberty. Lost the voice as soon as I hit puberty, voice was gone. But yeah, I mean, I love singing. I was in the choir, had a ukulele, learned how to play a couple songs on that. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I hit puberty, that voice was gone, and I was out of the choir at that point.
Being from Texas, it almost feels like there's an unwritten rule or like an unwritten expectation that if you know how to cook, you also need to have some experience to know how to cook a mean brisket. Was there any kind of expectations when it comes to just the barbecue food and just cooking with your grandma, like some of the barbecue aspect, or even you mentioned sheet pan fajitas a moment ago, but is there expectations that you should already know how to cook this stuff by the time you graduate high school and moving on to college?
I should. I probably should. Thankfully, I got a couple uncles that they make some mean briskets. So the family reunions are always great. But I haven't gotten to that age yet. I think I probably got 10 years till I got to learn how to make a brisket. But it's definitely coming up quick. But yeah, I mean, just the whole family aspect of cooking. We got a family reunion every year. Big get together with my whole dad's side of the family, um, and we've got probably close to 100 people there every year. Make ton of brisket, ribs, sausage, collard greens, just everything you could imagine. We've got it all.
Oh, sounds delicious. This sounds like one of those things where, like, anytime you hear a family reunion in Texas and it's like the food options that you get, it's like, invite me to the
Endless.
cookout, right? Or at least
Yeah.
get me a plate because it's like you got to
Yeah.
have some of that experience.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So, pivoting now back towards Trevecca Golf and just some other things involved with that. Off the time you guys got the conference championship coming up in the next little bit. From a golfing standpoint, there's invitationals that you prepare for, and the conference championship is always a marquee event for most schools to attend. How do you view conference championships and how do you prepare for events like that and just more or less the priority level of what you want to do and just how well you want to play in these events?
Yeah. So like you said, it's the marquee event on the schedule every year. It's the one everyone wants to play good at. It's the one everyone's going to bring their A game to. So this year with it being at Greystone, we're very blessed to be in Tennessee and have a lot of guys that kind of grew up playing that course, know the course very well. I've had some success at that course, and so I think as a team we're all feeling good coming into this. Preparation wise, I would say we're almost prepping for it very similar to every event, just kind of fine tuning everything, those last little checks. We're coming off a high as a team with a win. So I think we're just kind of carrying over the momentum, fine tuning those last couple things. And I think we'll be in a good spot for conference coming up.
One thing we know is you prioritize education. I know it sounds obvious to say that, being in the collegiate environment and you're, going to school, you're also trying to get an education. But, one of the biggest things is some of the accolades you receive when it comes from an education standpoint, particularly with the Champion Scholar Athlete of the Year award last year. Describe some of the feelings, if you had any, in terms of just what that meant and just if there was any benchmark moments for you, that just the full circle moments, if you will, when it comes from an education aspect and just getting that kind of honor.
Yeah, no, that was an honor to receive the Student Scholar Athlete Award last year. It was funny. I was actually in the middle of my round at conference, and coach was like, "Hey, you got to stick around after. Like they want to give you something." And I was like, "What do they give me?" He goes, "You'll find out." And I was like, so I didn't even know what was happening until later. But no, yeah, it was great. I've always held education very highly. With my parents growing up, they were always kind of on me about make sure you have good grades, like grades come before anything else. So I've kind of carried that over into college. And with a good preparation in high school, I went to a college prep school. And so it's been nice in college, just kind of maintaining those same kind of values, making sure my grades are right while playing golf as well.
As a junior, you still got plenty of more golf to play after this year, but kind of looking forward into the future, what are some of your post college plans that you have going on and some aspirations that you want to try to pursue and achieve, whether it's to give back to the game or just, go out in life and make a difference and an impact?
Yeah, so I would say right now the goal is still professional golf. So, I mean, post college, I think what I'm thinking about now is finding a job in sport at a club or like with a club fitter, kind of learning and training and seeing that aspect of the golf world while maintaining to practice and just kind of get as good as I can. And I think I'm going to give myself a good like 3 to 4 year gap and kind of give golf a go and see how good I can get and how far I can get in the golfing world.
Maddox, we do have a couple of rapid fire questions we want to throw at you. So, First
Okay.
question we have for you is what has been the favorite course you've played on?
Ooh, favorite course. I'm gonna go Ocean Gate International. I mean, it's a great course every time we go down there. It's always in great condition. Tough golf course. It's always windy. It's long. Always kind of eats my lunch. But I kind of got back at it this year, so that was fun. But I always enjoy that course. It's always in great condition.
What is the toughest hole you've ever faced in your golf career?
I would say I'm gonna go TPC 17, but more specifically, when I was probably 8 years old, fired on Sawgrass 17, fired three in the water before I finally got the fourth one on the green. But I would like to think that I could get the first one on the green this time, but who knows? Oh, maybe I didn't get better since I was 11, but I'd like to think I would do a little better this time around.
What is a go-to pre-round routine that you have? Or better yet, is there a pre-match routine that gets you psyched up for a match or an event?
Yeah, so I've always got to have a cup of coffee in the morning with breakfast. And when I'm getting the van, kind of listen to whatever I want, whatever I'm feeling that day. But as soon as I step out of the van, I got to turn on Drake in the AirPods. It's got to be Drake. Doesn't have to stay on long, but I've just got to get at least a couple of songs in there. But yeah, Drake's always got to be going in the AirPods before a round for me.
What is your favorite club in the golf club family?
I'll go. I'm gonna go my 2 iron. Got a trusty little 2 iron that's just it's we've got a love hate relationship, but it's definitely the favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna go my trusty 2 iron.
And we'll wrap it up with the best vacation spot you've ever had growing up.
Ooh, I've got to go. I'm gonna go San Diego. Went there a handful of times growing up. It's just always great being on the beach. The food's great, and I mean it's hard to find something bad about it.
Maddox, thank you again for joining us on the show. We appreciate you sharing your insight in golfing as well as your experience with Trevecca Nazarene. Good luck with the upcoming conference championship. We know we're going to be seeing great things from the Trojans, and we're looking forward to seeing you continue to compete, graduate, and impact in the Gulf South Conference.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for having me. This was a blast.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Inside the GSC. Don't forget to hit like, share, or subscribe wherever content can be found so you won't miss highlights, stories, and more. So long for now, and we'll see you back here next time on Inside the GSC.